Friends, this year our 10-year-old peach tree fruited for the first time ever. We are so excited about processing these peaches into peach jam. Anyone can make peach jam as long as they have peaches. You can get them from your local farmer's market, online directly from a peach farm, or even peaches that you find at the grocery store. You can even use canned peaches.
Hey, welcome to Miners Traditions. My name is Betsy, and I am going to be showing you all things traditional skills. So we are blessed to be living on this property for many generations, and I have learned some skills from my grandmother who lived in this house. This is her kitchen. I have done a couple of upgrades over the years, but for the most part, this kitchen is still the kitchen that my grandmother cooked in. And so today we're going to be processing peaches.
After we picked our peaches, we placed them in a large cooler in a 1-to-3 ratio of vinegar to water to clean them.
All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to skin these peaches, and I'm going to put the skins over here because we're going to save these for the chickens. And then we're going to chop them up and we're going to put them in a bowl, and then we are going to make jam. When I talk about traditions, one of the things I want you to think about is my traditions are not necessarily your traditions. So if there's any kind of tradition that you want to learn that you should have paid attention to your grandmother, put your requests in the comments and let me know. We'll look at doing some segments on other traditions as well.
After we have peeled and cut all the peaches, we're going to mash them into a pulp. Today, we're going to use my Ball Fresh Tech Jam and Jelly Maker. It makes jam making super easy. First, we put in our peaches. Spread them out on the bottom of the jam maker. Next, we sprinkle 3 tablespoons of pectin over the peaches. I like using Sure-Gel brand of pectin. Then we sprinkle 2 tablespoons of lemon juice over the peaches. Finally, we put in 1 teaspoon of butter to prevent foaming. Now we're going to place a vented top on and set the maker to the jam setting. That automatically sets the time to 21 minutes. 4 minutes after the jam begins, though, the maker will beep and we will put in 4 cups of sugar to the jam. Then we'll put the lid back on and let it go for the remaining time. While the jam maker cooks, we're going to sanitize all of the jars that we will use for jam. In a large pot, place all of the jars full of water to weight them down in the water bath, and then all of the lids that we will also be using for jam. Fill the pot with enough water to cover the jars. We're going to wait until the water begins boiling, and then we're going to set our timer for 20 minutes.
Jars have come to a boil. I think that you can see it a little bit through there. They're boiling now, so I'm going to set my timer on here for 20 minutes and let them sanitize. All right. Look at this peach jam. It is gorgeous. Look at the amber sauce and the peaches in there. Oh my gosh. This is the equipment that you're going to need for canning. In addition to a water bath, you're going to need these tools right here. And they come together. Ball has a canning starter kit, and this all comes with it. I'm going to turn this off for right now. We're going to be putting our jars back in here, but it's going to be super. One of the pros of having your own canned jam is that, well, number one, it's amazing. And you have the satisfaction of making it yourself, but it makes your kitchen hot. And if your kitchen is little like mine, it gets very, very hot in the summertime. So what we're going to do is we're going to, one by one, we're going to pull the jars out. We're not going to pull them all at one time. And I have these sampler jars, and these are great for like if you're having a party and you don't want to open a whole jar, these things are perfect. These are called sampler jars. So you pull one jar out and you put the funnel on here. I'm going to scoop some of our jam in our ladle, and I'm going to put another towel right here because there's going to be drippage all over the place. Put it right here. And then we fill our jar up to the lid. That's probably a little bit too much, and I'm probably going to have to get a little bit out. I'm going to get a spoon and get some of that out. Yeah. All right. And then you pull this up and you put it on your thing. This one is a little bit too full, so I'm going to pull it back over here. This jar is super hot, so you're going to use this to transport it. See how some of my sauce has gotten on the edges? It's really important that you keep these edges clear. So we're going to clean them off before we put a lid on here. All right, so I've gotten a lot of the excess out of here. All right, so I'm going to sit it back over here. And that's why we have this water/vinegar solution, and you're going to wipe the edges off so that there's nothing that is going to impede or block the seal when we put the top on it. All right, so now you take the magnetic stick and you grab a lid and you put it on top right here. To put a lid on just to finger tightness. And then you're going to put it back in. And then you're going to do it again. So there's a lid sitting where I wanted to put this one. So I'm going to get another jar out and I'm going to put this jar in its place. Okay, so move these guys over. We're going to put this guy back in. Some stuff that I didn't realize about jars and the pieces until I started canning food myself. First of all, it is customary and it's just good manners to return your jars to whoever gave them to you, even if it was a gift, because jars are expensive and they can be reused. So a lot of times you're going to want to return that to whoever you got it from. Another thing is these lids right here, you can only use them one time because once you break the seal with a can opener, you can't use them again. You have bent them when you open them with a can opener. And then if you're just making cans for your home, once these jars cool, which is going to be tomorrow morning, you take these rings off because they could create a fake seal and make you believe that your fruits or vegetables have been sealed when they have not. All right, this is a half pint right here. And that's the equivalent to 2 of the samplers. You fill these up, and you're going to water bath them for the same amount of time. It's just that it takes less of these half pints than the sampler jars. So we're going to do that. We're going to put a lid on. Let's wipe this off. Make sure that there's no cracks on the sides of your the edges of your jars, because that could keep the seal. I think I tightened that one too much. So make sure that I recently had one that had a crack in it, and I could not understand why it didn't seal. I almost always have successful seals, and it was because it had a crack on it. Sometimes when they age, it happens. All right, I'm going to do some more sample jars. Now, if you make 2 batches, and I probably am going to make 2 batches, and we're not going to film both of them, you can leave the batch that you've already jarred in this hot water. But the big thing is that you do not want to leave your, let your jars get cool. Because then when you turn the heat back on to jar them, it will cause them to break altogether in the sudden change in temperature. So my husband has asked me if I will make cat head biscuits to go with this peach jam. Do y'all know what cat head biscuits are? It's not what you think. So cat head biscuits is a southern term for like sandwich biscuits. So they're oversized biscuits the size of a cat head. And you are judged in the South by your ability to make homemade biscuits. And there is a skill to that. Do y'all want me to do an episode on making biscuits? Let me know in the comments if that's something that you'd like me to do. And we'll get it done. Looks like this is the last one we're going to get in here. These are going to make great gifts. Great little gifts. And then I like to take them to like family events. We're going to cover this. And just like the last time, we're going to wait till it comes to a full boil before we start our 20-minute timer. 20 minutes is pretty standard for half pints of high acid jams and jellies like these. So once our 20 minutes is up with the canning, because this is the end of the day, we're just going to leave these there. We're going to turn it off and just let them sit for the night and come naturally to a cool. And then tomorrow morning, we are going to set them on a tea towel next to, we're not going to move them very far because they don't need to be moved a whole lot until they're fully set. So we're going to put them on a towel over here and let them set for about 24 hours, and then we can store them. And they are going to be chef's kiss. So I'm about to go out to lunch with my aunt, and the cans have cooled. You'd be surprised how warm the pot is, even overnight. But the jars have cooled, and the seals have settled. And so we're going to take these out, and we're going to sit them on a towel right next to the pot. And we're going to let them set. The gel has set. Look how gorgeous these are. They've set, look. Oh my gosh, there is no color. There's no food dye involved in that. That is all peach. They are just gorgeous. Don't forget, you're going to want to take these seals off so that you don't get a false seal. And we're going to let them sit there for 24 hours, and then we're going to store them in a cool, dark place. We have a place in our basement where we save ours. So if you try these, let us know. I am excited for you to try something new. And the best way to support our channel is to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.